you know, I figured I did my makeup, I look decent, why not film a video with my Red Bull at 3 p.m., you know?
Come here, you look like a music lover. Excuse me.
Hey y'all, it's me, Cecilia. Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to make a video kind of different, pretty much just talking about my rating scale, my rating style. I got this idea, well, I feel like a lot of people I've subscribed to have been putting out these rating videos. So pretty much I saw Daniel Green post one, a couple other people posted one, but the video that really got me to want to make this video was Elena from Elena the Great. I will leave her channel and her video down below. I love her, and there's a bunch of videos in her description. I watched all of them. They're all great. I'll also link those ones down below. She was pretty much talking about her rating scale, how she rates, why she rates books, and goes into that. And I've never really explained my rating style, and I think it's different. I don't do the 5-scale rating system, even though I tell you guys on a scale of 1 to 5. It's confusing, so I'm here to explain. So pretty much what I do is I pretty much rate most media I consume. I usually don't talk about the TV shows and movies that I watch because no one cares. I mean, if you care, I could start making that content, you know, why not? I always rate everything else on a 10-scale system. That's just what I've done, and so that's why, since I rate TV shows and movies like that, it made sense to rate books like that. But since everyone like on GoodReads and everyone here rates on a 5-star system, I pretty much just divide by 2 and tell you guys the rounded-ish amount between a 0.5 or a whole number, whatever. I just tell you whatever. So I want to go through the 10 points and explain pretty much what each point means, because a lot of people, especially just on YouTube, BookTube, Bookstagram, whatever, so a lot of people think that a 3-star is a bad rating. I don't think a 3-star is a bad rating at all. I think a 3-star was, I enjoyed it, bitch. It was good. You know, like a 3-star is good. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go through, explain, and give some examples of books that I've rated each one of these, and what pretty much my plans are for talking about like reviews on this channel. So I'm first going to start off with, I'm going to start from low to high, because why not? Get a little drama, get a little tea up in here. But the first one I'm going to start off with is just a 1 out of 10, which is, why was this published? Tea. I've only given one book a 1 out of 10, and that was 96 Words for Love. I have a whole rant review on it, so if you want to hear my discussion on it, you can go watch it up above. But pretty much why was it published is that, for me, there's no redeeming qualities. There was nothing good about the book. Nothing. And to the point where it's like, I'm judging you. Like, why? No. No, God! Number 2 was horrible. Is horrible. It's not quite to the point of where I'm questioning my life choices, but it's, oof. But it's really freaking bad. I think I've only given 2 books. Well, at least 2 books from Waking Memory, a 2 out of 10, and that was Shirley and Queen of Hearts. Those were terrible. I read those both last year. I haven't given any book or 1 or 2 out of 10, so that's perfect. Oh, I was putting up on screen, by the way. So yeah, a 1 would be a 0.5 stars. A 2 out of 10 is a 1 star, you know. So 3 is very bad. So to me, there is no redeeming qualities as well. For very bad, there's probably maybe 1 aspect of it that I enjoyed, and the rest was terrible. Like, that's what very bad is. And I think I've only rated 1 book a 3 out of 10, and that was Night Circus. The only thing I enjoyed about that book was that Erin Morgenstern can write some atmosphere, because the atmosphere in the book was great. Everything else, god-awful horseshit. Like, that's how it was, you know? So that's very bad, and that would translate to a 1.5 stars. So then I have a 4 out of 10. So that is, I don't like it. There's more cons than pros, but I can see how other people would enjoy it. So for this, a couple examples for this would be Treasure Island, Red, White, and Royal Blue, Girls of Paper and Fire. Just books that I personally don't like and had more issues in those books than good ones. I mean, maybe, does Red, White, and Royal Blue deserve a 3 out of 10? We're gonna think about that, because I can only think of 1 aspect of that book that I actually enjoyed. We'll think about it, you know, okay. And of course a 4 would translate to a 2 star. So 5 is average. 5 is like the most average. I think of that and I'm like, this is average, like just plain old average. A couple of examples for this is Passing by Nella Larson, Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell, and Crowd of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. These were like the most average books, and average is about 2.5 stars translated. Now for 6, I have it just as fine. It's better than average. So a couple examples for this would be Aragon by Christopher Paolini, Renegades, and Sorcery of Thorns. Yeah, and this one translates to about a 3-star. Next, I have 7 is good. Now, good I feel like is sometimes the most gut. Like I look at a book and I'm like, it's a 7. Like it's not a 6. Like it's better than a 6, but it's not an 8. I don't love it enough to be an 8. So for 7, a couple of examples is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. These are just good, and these translate to about 3.5 stars. And then I have very good. So very good is pretty much just like, there's only 1 or 2 aspects that I didn't enjoy, but usually those 1 or 2 aspects tend to be not huge, but usually it's like pacing would go in that category, or like if all the characters were bland, or if the plot wasn't there. If it's one of those big aspects, it's just gonna go down to an 8. That just makes sense to me. A couple of examples of this would be There by Tommy Orange, A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer, Four Dead Queens by Astrid Schultz, and this translates to a 4-star. Now we get to the great ones, you know. So 8 we have is great, all the gay exclamation points. It's usually just missing that spark, which is again another one that I kind of go off of gut instinct. It's usually just missing a I don't want to shove it down everyone's throats kind of appeal. It's missing that oomph, you know. It's missing that little pizzazz. And a couple of examples of this is The Downstairs Girl, Jack of Hearts and Other Parts, and Enchantment of Ravens. And this translates to a 4.5 star. And these tend to be my favorite books of the year, after, of course, the 10 books, or the 10 scale books. And then we get to our 10 scales. These are called Masterpiece, you know, chef's kiss. These are, if they have faults, I don't care. They're like not faults to me because I loved it so fucking much. Like these are God tier, you know, these I would die for these books. I'm gonna own them, get multiple editions, you know, whatever, the shebang. And examples for this is Cinderella's Dead by Kaylin Barron, Out by Natina Carino, and Bunny by Mona Awad. You know, my favorite books. And of course, these are going to be my favorite books of all time if I gave it a 10. And these translate to a 5 out of 5 stars. Now, if you follow me on GoodReads, I have my GoodReads link down below. I pretty much friend everybody as long as you don't look weird. So if you want to, you can friend me down on GoodReads. But on GoodReads, I tend to, you'll see my ratings. I tend to, in the description, put what specifically, like out of the 5-star rating. I usually don't put the 10s on there. I usually write those down physically myself, but I'll usually write them down in the description and I round down. So like, let's say something out of 5 or 2.5 stars, I'll round it down, and on GoodReads it'll be a 2, because in my mind, I'm not gonna round up because you don't deserve a 3. like the book doesn't deserve a 3, and if it did, I would have given it a 3. So, you know, so I round down on GoodReads. So it fucks my average up on GoodReads a little bit. I think about a 3.7 or something like that. But yes, I started implementing this in about 2019. Hence why if you look at any of my read books past 2019, this isn't really affecting any of those. Those are whatever the fuck. I don't even know what I was doing back then. Now, it's different because I don't do this rating system much for manga, comics, graphic novels. If it's a one-shot, I will do it based off this system. I usually don't go by individual volumes. Usually for the individual volumes, I'll go on a 5 scale and I'll just say like, that was fucking great, 5. Like that's it. I usually just go based on pure enjoyment, and then I will rate the entire series based on my 1 to 10 scale. So what I want to do in the future for my rating system, I actually want to tell you guys in my videos when I do my recent reads, because I am transitioning back to recent reads videos. Okay, so editing me. I just said I was going to switch back to recent reads videos. I probably won't for a couple months because I want to do a wrap up pretty much of summer, since I haven't done a wrap up since like April. And I want to do a dedicated wrap up for Monster-a-thon in September. and a dedicated one for October and November, but probably in December, maybe next year, I'll start doing recent reads. Who knows? Because every time I do a recent reads video, they don't, not that they don't get enough views, but like in comparison to like, but if I look at my wrap-ups and my recent reads, y'all don't really like to watch recent reads videos, at least how it looks like from my analytics side. So hence why I tend to go for wrap-ups more, but I enjoy doing recent reads videos more. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out this system, but let me know what you guys think. I'm still on the fence about it right now, but yeah, that's pretty much it at the moment. And I want to do a recent reads video every 8 books is what I'm thinking. And so far I've only read 6 books. I'm waiting to finish 2 more, and then I'll release a recent reads video. But I want to actually tell you guys my scale 1 out of 10, because I feel like a 5-star system just doesn't do enough. Well, I feel like a 1 out of 10, how I explained it, really, just by giving you the number, you're really able to see what I personally like feel about the book without me explaining any more. So I want to tell you guys, actually, I'll put them on the screen. I'll put my out of 10 scale, and I'll also put the out of 5 stars on the screen when I do my recent reads. I'm also starting a book journal. Let me get you the cute journal. It's really cute. This is what it looks like. My mom got this. My mom got this for like $1 at the thrift store. And it's just this leather bound notebook. I think this was like handmade. And what my goal for this is that on every page, I pretty much want to write down, like, one page is gonna be dedicated to a book or manga/graphic novel series. And I talk about my pros and cons, because pretty much when I rate books, I rate based on pros and cons. That's just me. I like to make lists. And so when I'm reading a book, I'll have my pros list, my cons list. And then once I'm done reading, I'll look at those pros and cons lists. And then that's how I get my rating. So I'm probably gonna switch more to a pros and cons list on here. It's every time I talk about a book, I'll talk about the pros, talk about the cons. And because that's just how I like to do my reviews. I feel like when I was making wrap-ups and stuff like that, I was pretty much, I feel like, conforming to how everyone else does it, when, I don't know, I feel like they just don't work well for me. So I feel like switching to my 10, or telling you guys about my 10 scale and telling you guys about the pros and cons of each book is going to work best for me. So that's what I'm going to be doing going forward. But I think that's all I have to talk about in this video. It's just a short but sweet one talking about a rating scale. But yeah, I think that's it for today. Today's emoji, since I'm wearing a little heart, let's do heart emojis. Why not? But yeah, that's it for today, guys. I will see you in another video. Peace.
Hey, come here. You look like a music lover.